Life moves fast, and with so many new releases, it's easy to leave some classics behind. But certain games stick with us, the ones with unforgettable stories, immersive worlds, and moments that left us in awe. Even in the era of next-gen consoles, some single-player games are worth going back to. In this video, I'll be sharing my top 20 picks that deserve a revisit, reminding us why these titles are still legendary and deserve another playthrough.
Use my Ferguson!
Back in 2005, Gun was a groundbreaking experience for gamers craving a Wild West adventure. Long before Red Dead Redemption redefined the genre, you step into the boots of Colton White, a gunslinger on a quest for revenge, navigating a world full of bandits, bounty hunters, and corrupt officials. What made Gun stand out was its seamless blend of horseback combat, intense shootouts, and a gripping storyline that kept players engaged from beginning to end. While it doesn't have the vast open-world scope of today's games, Gun offered a tightly focused experience that felt ahead of its time. The game captured the spirit of the Old West without drowning players in excessive side content, delivering a streamlined yet immersive adventure. Its gunplay still holds up, with fans loving the thrill of quick draws and shootouts. Though Red Dead Redemption now reigns supreme, Gun remains a must-play for those seeking fast-paced, action-packed cowboy escapades.
Tear this ship apart till we find it! Oh, top deck, Cole.
Lost Planet is one of those underrated gems that not everyone remembers, but for those who played it, it left a lasting impact. This third-person shooter from Capcom blended action and survival elements in a way that still feels unique today. Its standout feature was the thermal energy mechanic, forcing players to manage their heat levels while fending off enemies and surviving the freezing environment. It wasn't just about gunning down foes, it was about staying alive in an unforgiving world. While modern games tend to smooth out every edge, Lost Planet has a gritty, raw charm that draws you in. Its massive boss fights remain some of the most intense encounters in gaming, pitting you against towering, acrid creatures and heavily armed enemies in battles filled with tension. The game's sense of scale and atmosphere also set it apart. The snowy, desolate landscapes make you feel isolated and vulnerable in ways few games manage to replicate. If you're looking to revisit a challenging shooter where the environment is as deadly as your enemies, Lost Planet is worth reliving. Next up is Tenchu Z. I still remember the excitement when I picked this game up over a decade ago. This stealth action gem throws you into the shadows of feudal Japan, putting you in the role of a deadly ninja. It embraced everything stealth fans love: silent takedowns, intricate level design, and the freedom to approach missions however you wanted. Tenchu Z introduced some new mechanics to the series, like light and sound meters to show how detectable you were, adding a layer of strategy. The stealth and combat mechanics were some of the best in the franchise, with well-implemented ninjutsu abilities that felt satisfying to use. Unlike other action games of its time, this one demanded patience, planning, and smart use of ninja tools, making every mission feel like a tense, puzzle-like experience. While modern games like Assassin's Creed and Ghost of Tsushima have polished the stealth formula, Tenchu Z still delivers that raw, stealth-focused experience fans love. Its story may be one of the weaker in the series, but the game shines with a co-op mode that lets you team up with a friend for ninja missions, giving it excellent replayability. If you're a fan of stealth action, Tenchu Z is worth another playthrough in your gaming rotation this year. Next up is the Bourne Conspiracy. Combining brutal hand-to-hand combat with adrenaline-fueled gunplay, this game perfectly captures the fast-paced, close-quarters action that defines Jason Bourne. You step into the shoes of the rogue agent, reliving some of the series' most iconic moments while exploring new scenarios that expand Bourne's story beyond the films. What sets the Bourne Conspiracy apart is its seamless blend of action and narrative. making every mission feel like a scene straight out of a high-octane spy movie. The combat is where the game truly shines. Your character's brutal efficiency in close-quarters brawls delivers a sense of power few games can replicate. It strikes a perfect balance between intense fistfights and precise shooting, letting you feel like a one-man wrecking crew. While it didn't achieve blockbuster status, the Bourne Conspiracy has earned a cult following over the years for capturing the essence of Bourne without leaning too heavily on the films. Its short, action-packed campaign makes it perfect for players craving thrilling gameplay but pressed for time. If you're like me and love a good scare, Cold Fear is a game you'll want to check out. Released in 2005 by Ubisoft, this survival horror gem often gets overshadowed by giants like Resident Evil and Silent Hill. But don't let its lesser-known status fool you. It offers a unique and terrifying experience worth revisiting. Set aboard a storm-battered Russian whaler drifting in the ocean, the game immediately creates a tense, claustrophobic atmosphere. You play as Tom Hansen, a US Coast Guard officer sent to investigate strange events on the ship, only to find yourself caught in a nightmare. Cold Fear delivers a gripping mix of horror, action, and environmental hazards that will keep you on edge throughout. What makes it truly stand out is how the ship's rocking motion, caused by crashing waves, affects both your aim and movement, adding unpredictability to every encounter. The eerie atmosphere and dynamic weather keep you constantly alert. Whether you're a seasoned horror fan or new to the genre, Cold Fear offers plenty of suspense and jump scares to make it a memorable, spine-tingling experience.
Не подходи!
How about a movie-based game that isn't just good, it's outstanding? The Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay, released in 2004, caught everyone off guard with how exceptional it was. You step into the shoes of the infamous anti-hero Richard B. Riddick, brought to life by Vin Diesel's voice and charisma. Trapped in Butcher Bay, a maximum security prison, your goal is simple: survive and escape by any means necessary. This game masterfully blends stealth, combat, and exploration, delivering a tight, atmospheric experience that still holds up today. Even decades after its release, Escape from Butcher Bay feels ahead of its time, thanks to its gritty atmosphere, immersive storytelling, and fluid gameplay mechanics. The ability to alternate between stealth and full-on action gives you the freedom to choose your playstyle. Whether you prefer lurking in the shadows or smashing through enemies, the game makes it satisfying every step of the way. What really pulls you in is Riddick's cool, calculated demeanor and the dark, dangerous world he navigates. Whether you're here for the gripping story, the engaging gameplay, or just to relive one of the most surprising video game adaptations, Escape from Butcher Bay remains a must-play experience.
What are you looking at? Go play with the twins or something. Oh, hey, wait. You're that new guy, right? You wanna do me a favor?
I don't do favors. But tell me anyway.
Listen, the moment Molina's...
The Darkness is a first-person shooter with a supernatural twist, based on the popular comic series of the same name. You play as Jackie Estacado, a mafia hitman who on his 21st birthday inherits a terrifying otherworldly power known as the Darkness. The game masterfully combines mobster drama with supernatural horror, delivering a story-driven experience packed with intense combat, emotional depth, and a haunting atmosphere. At its core, The Darkness isn't just about action, it's about Jackie's personal struggle. The game weaves a gripping narrative that blends the grim realities of mafia life with the curse of an ancient, malevolent force. One of the most memorable elements is Jackie's relationship with his girlfriend Jenny, which brings emotional weight and elevates the story beyond what you'd expect from a typical shooter. The gameplay shines through its unique mix of traditional gunplay and supernatural abilities. Jackie can use dark tentacles to sneak through vents and eliminate enemies silently, or summon darklings, small mischievous gremlin-like creatures, to fight alongside him. This blend of mechanics makes combat feel dynamic, strategic, and brutally satisfying. Even years later, The Darkness offers a fresh and unforgettable experience, standing out from the crowded shooter genre with its emotional storytelling and inventive gameplay.
You are nothing but my puppet.
The Witcher marked CD Projekt Red's bold entry into the RPG world. While it didn't capture mainstream attention right away, it laid the groundwork for one of the most beloved franchises in gaming history. Drawing from Andrzej Sapkowski's acclaimed book series, the game follows Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter navigating a morally ambiguous world filled with political intrigue, deadly creatures, and tough decisions. Compared to its sequels, The Witcher 1 is a slower, more deliberate experience, but its immersive atmosphere, deep storytelling, and distinctive combat system make it a classic worth revisiting. While The Witcher 3 gets much of the praise, those who return to the original often appreciate its darker tone and more personal narrative. The game's world feels raw and unpolished, with a gritty, almost noir-like vibe that draws players in. Branching dialogues and choices with real consequences still stand out, forcing players to live with the impact of their decisions long after they're made. Though the combat, combining swordplay, alchemy, and magic, might feel a bit clunky by today's standards, it remains a rewarding system to master. What makes The Witcher 1 special is how it emphasizes Geralt's role as a professional monster hunter, tracking dangerous creatures and brewing potions to gain an edge in combat. For those who started with The Witcher 3, revisiting the first game offers a fresh appreciation for the series' rich lore, well-crafted characters, and Geralt's journey from the beginning. This might just be one of the best World War II games ever created, Hidden and Dangerous too. It's a title that left a lasting impression, and now it's time to dive back into those intense tactical battles. What I loved most about this game was its emphasis on squad-based gameplay. Planning your missions carefully is crucial. Equipping your team with the right gear and positioning them strategically can make or break your success. One wrong move can lead to the entire squad's demise, making every decision feel weighty and impactful. The game brilliantly captures the gritty feel of the 1940s. When you drive a vehicle, the engine growls and the truck lurches forward, embodying the era's realism. Tanks are slow and cumbersome, and weapons have authentic recoil that demands precision. The old-school paper ammo packs hitting the ground add to the immersion, along with an inventory system that requires you to think critically about your loadout. While the gameplay may seem old-school, it still feels fresh and engaging, encouraging creativity and strategy without forcing a linear path. Overcoming challenges in this game is incredibly satisfying, a true nod to a time when developers prioritized player freedom and ingenuity. Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light burst onto the scene as a refreshing take on the Tomb Raider franchise, departing from the traditional third-person adventure style. This game adopts a unique isometric viewpoint, emphasizing cooperative puzzle solving alongside its signature action. You step into the role of Lara Croft, but this time she's teamed up with Totec, a Mayan warrior, on a mission to stop an ancient demon from causing chaos. The gameplay is straightforward, with intuitive controls that make it accessible to newcomers and veterans alike. In single-player mode, Lara utilizes her classic grappling hook and Totec spear to navigate platforms and solve puzzles, while grenades play a vital role in clearing obstacles and progressing through levels. When playing in co-op mode, teamwork becomes essential, as many puzzles are designed for collaboration. Combat is fast-paced and efficient, keeping the action flowing. Players can collect various weapons and artifacts by achieving high scores, uncovering hidden items, or completing challenging tombs. Whether solo or with a friend, Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light is an excellent choice for those who crave action with a touch of classic Tomb Raider charm.
with your legs?
Next up is an old-school gem that remains a simple yet entertaining FPS, XIII. Based on the Belgian graphic novel of the same name, this game thrusts you into a gripping conspiracy where you play as a mysterious man with amnesia, known only by the Roman numeral tattooed on his body. As you piece together the fragments of your identity, you find yourself entangled in a web of political intrigue, betrayal, and action-packed firefights. Even after 20 years, XIII's cel-shaded graphics retain a unique and cool aesthetic, giving them a timeless appeal. But it's not just about the visuals. The game features a well-paced narrative that immerses you in a world filled with secret organizations and shady dealings. You'll appreciate the PS2-era level design, which expertly balances stealth and full-on combat, allowing for various strategic approaches to each scenario. Upon replaying, I was struck by the incredible visual variety throughout the game. You'll journey from a bank to a snowy base, an asylum prison, a canyon, a hotel, a cult fortress, and a military compound. Each level feels distinct, with vibrant colors that make them pop, a refreshing departure from the typical brown and gray palette seen in many modern shooters like Call of Duty, making XIII far more visually engaging. Condemned. Criminal Origins delivers a raw, immersive experience in the first-person survival horror genre. You play as Ethan Thomas, a forensic investigator hunting a serial killer in a city overrun by violent criminals. The game stands out with its brutal melee combat, forcing players into close-quarters encounters where every swing feels weighty and intense. What makes Condemned truly unsettling is its decaying urban environments, filled with tension and unpredictability. Instead of relying heavily on jump scares, the game creates a creeping sense of dread through eerie sound design and disturbing encounters. Investigative mechanics using forensic tools to uncover clues add depth to the gameplay, making every discovery feel significant. Even years later, Condemned, Criminal Origins remains a standout title for its gritty atmosphere and relentless psychological terror. Released in 2009, Bionic Commando reintroduced Nathan Spencer and his iconic bionic arm in an exhilarating 3D reboot. This arm was more than just a cool accessory. It was the backbone of the gameplay, allowing players to swing across skyscrapers, pull enemies in for brutal attacks, and deliver devastating punches. The fast-paced, adrenaline-fueled action made navigating the dangerous city feel like a superhero experience. The mechanics of using the bionic arm to yank enemies towards you or launch them into the environment still pack a punch, creating a satisfying sense of impact. Surprisingly, Bionic Commando has aged better than many expected, offering a nostalgic action-packed adventure that's worth revisiting. The combination of fluid movements, strategic combat, and a compelling storyline makes it a standout title that fans of the genre will appreciate even today. Crackdown quickly established itself as a groundbreaking open-world superhero experience, redefining the sandbox genre. In this game, you play as an agent tasked with taking down 3 crime syndicates that have taken control of a crime-ridden urban sprawl. What set Crackdown apart was not just the freedom to approach missions in any order, but the RPG-like progression system that made you feel truly superhuman. As your agent levels up, you unlock incredible abilities like leaping between buildings, hurling cars, and wreaking havoc with super strength, all within a dynamic and destructible world. Even years later, Crackdown remains a beloved title, praised for its simple yet addictive gameplay. Players fondly remember the thrill of leveling up and watching their agents soar from skyscraper to skyscraper, dismantling gangs with explosive flair. It serves as a reminder that sometimes less is more, focusing on pure unfiltered fun without an overly complex story or unnecessary mechanics. The chaotic sandbox design lets players tackle missions however they choose, whether sniping from rooftops or charging in guns blazing, making it a timeless classic.
Stay out of my way.
When James Bond 007 Nightfire launched in 2002, it sent shockwaves of excitement through the gaming community, especially among Bond fans. This wasn't just another movie tie-in, it delivered a genuine James Bond experience. While not directly connected to any film, the game crafted a captivating narrative that whisked players across the globe, from the icy slopes of Austria to high-tech underwater bases and even space stations, all filled with explosive action. Nightfire is cherished for its well-rounded gameplay and iconic multiplayer mode. The variety of missions keeps the experience fresh, whether you're engaging in intense shootouts or using Bond's clever gadgets for stealthy infiltrations. The multiplayer mode remains a standout feature, with countless nostalgic memories of split-screen battles, allowing players to choose from classic Bond characters in beautifully designed arenas. Despite the evolution of online gaming, Nightfire's local multiplayer retains a timeless appeal that's hard to match. If you're a fan of expansive open-world action games with high replay value, Shadow of War is still worth diving into. Building on the success of Shadow of Mordor, it offers an enhanced experience in Tolkien's universe. The game continues the journey of Talion and Celebrimbor, the ancient elf spirit bound to him, as they wage war against Sauron's armies. One of the standout features is the innovative Nemesis system, which ensures no two playthroughs are alike. Enemy orcs evolve into personal rivals, making each encounter feel meaningful. Large-scale fortress sieges remain a thrilling highlight, blending strategy and action as you lead your forces into battle. Even after all these years, Shadow of War delivers an immersive, dynamic experience that keeps players coming back for more.
The city, don't you? I see it in your eyes. Not hope. Delusion. You won't break my guard that way, Bravo.
Move out. Clear, Bravo.
Full Spectrum Warrior is unlike any other tactics game I've played. As a fan of strategy titles, I appreciate the unique real-time approach it offers, setting it apart from the usual genre fare. While it's a bit rough around the edges, it absolutely deserves more attention. In each mission, you control 2 squads of 4 soldiers, each with distinct personalities and quirks. What makes the experience so engaging is the grounded, immersive perspective. There's no top-down view to survey the battlefield. You only see what your squad sees, forcing you to make decisions with limited intel as it comes in throughout the mission. Success hinges on smart tactics like laying down suppressive fire, setting fire angles, using smoke grenades, and flanking enemies. Every move counts and staying sharp is essential. Full Spectrum Warrior challenges you to think strategically under pressure, making it a truly unique and rewarding experience.
Wait a sec, I gotta reload. Frag out!
Your 2 teams.
Mercenaries. Playground of Destruction dropped players into war-torn North Korea as elite mercenaries with one simple goal: create chaos. The game offered complete freedom to blow up buildings, hijack vehicles, and complete missions however you saw fit. Armed with a vast arsenal ranging from airstrikes to tanks, it provided one of the most destructible environments ever seen in gaming. What fans loved most was the sheer joy of causing mayhem with no restrictions or rigid paths. Whether you preferred calling in airstrikes, piloting helicopters, or stealing enemy vehicles, the game encouraged creativity at every turn. Each playthrough felt fresh, with endless ways to tackle objectives and experiment with destruction. Mercenaries gave players the tools to unleash havoc, making it an unforgettable, action-packed experience.
Turning into a real shitstorm. They hired some hotshot mercenary named Philip Clyde to take...
I still remember how Army of Two brought something fresh to the shooter genre by emphasizing teamwork and cooperation. You play as either Salem or Rios, two private military contractors tackling high-stakes missions where survival and those lucrative payouts depends entirely on working together. What made the game stand out was its commitment to co-op mechanics. Every mission required coordination, whether it was laying down cover fire, pulling off synchronized snipes, or executing tactical maneuvers. One of my favorite strategies was using the riot shield, where one player advanced while the other fired from behind, creating a perfect blend of offense and defense. If you're after a memorable co-op experience that demands communication and strategy, Army of Two is an excellent choice. It's a game that truly shines when you and your partner are in sync.
Salem, advance! Rock and roll!
I spent countless hours immersed in Project XIII. It was one of those games that completely pulled me in, and just hearing its name triggers waves of nostalgia from those marathon gaming sessions. Released in 2000, XIII stood out with its focus on stealth, tactical planning, and realistic combat, offering something different from the run-and-gun shooters of the time. Each mission demanded careful strategy, whether you were sniping enemies from afar or sneaking past guards unnoticed. With no checkpoints, every move felt high stakes. One mistake could send you right back to the start, making each success incredibly satisfying. The open-ended level design gave you the freedom to choose your approach, offering a refreshing sense of autonomy rarely seen in other shooters. XIII didn't hold your hand, it trusted you to figure things out, which only added to the thrill. If you're craving a tactical shooter that rewards patience and precision, Project XIII is worth revisiting. If you're feeling that pull to rediscover the magic of gaming, now's the perfect time to jump back in. These games still hit just as hard as the day they launched. Whether it's nostalgia or curiosity, trust your instincts and dive into one of these classics. You won't regret it. And if it's your first time experiencing them, don't keep it to yourself. Let me know in the comments which one you picked. Let's spark that passion together and make these moments unforgettable.